What is up, YouTube? We back in here again. Today we got the detachable blade only challenge. As you can see, here's the before, and let's get into this. First off, I want to give a big shout out to Be Choppin. I appreciate the challenge, bro. Some of y'all might recognize my man here. This is my brother-in-law. He was willing to let me do the challenge on him. This is actually my first time cutting with detachables. As you can see here, we're taking down the bulk with the 1.5, and this is going to be an undercut into his mohawk man bun. As we get into this, I also want to shout out my man Phase by Morales. Thanks to him, I was able to do this challenge. He was able to supply me with this purple Andis Detachable Clipper. Much love, bro. To set the bald guideline, I'm going to be using the 5-0 blade. Now, there was a mishap here. As you can see, it is pulling his hair. So I had to opt out of it and go back to my trimmer, which is equivalent to a 5-0. I hope I don't get disqualified. Notice how this guideline is slightly higher in the back. I'm doing this because his hair density is a lot thicker back there. This will help me create a more balanced blend. Underneath the 5-0, we're going to follow up with a shaver, and I'm going to be releasing pressure as I get close to the top. Also notice as I get towards the back, I'm going to be using the peppering technique, going in the downward motion. Once I'm done blending the top of that guide, I'm going to go ahead and turn my shaver around and remove the bottom. And for our first guideline, we're going to skip the 000 and go directly to the OA, creating a guideline of about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And to remove that guideline, we'll go back to that 000 that we skipped and go ahead and try to blend this out. Notice how it will still leave a faint line down below. We're going to come back with the trimmer or our 5-0 blade and remove that in just a second. Also notice that when I get close to the top of this guideline, I'm only using my corners and I'm making sure to float the clipper off of his head. If y'all want to learn more about this fading technique with detachable blades, go check out S-Craft Blends. He has a video called Using Detachables for Dummies. And as promised, we're going back with that 5-0 blade or our trimmer and just using the corners to blend out the bottom of this guideline. I hope y'all like this beat. I made it specifically for this video because detachables to me are old school. I just wanted to keep it a little funky. And if you're wondering, this is a stretched high fade we're doing on my man. And moving on to the next guideline, we will once again skip a blade and go directly into the 1A blade. And just like we did with the previous guideline, we're going to use the corners only as we get to the top of this guideline, and it should be a pretty smooth transition, being that the 1A goes right before the 1.5 blade. Couple things I learned about using detachables. One is that it is a lot faster to blend with these, but another is that there's a lot of corner work involved, and you're gonna need to know how to use a floating technique for you to be able to do a nice smooth blend without doing a lot of double work. Alright, now we're gonna go back to this one blade that we skipped and try to blend out the rest of this guideline. And as you can see, the blend is coming together, but we will go back and do some touch-up work. And that one blade did not fully blend out this section, so we're going to go back to the OA and polish the rest of this out. Another thing I caught myself doing a lot was going over sections multiple times when it wasn't needed, but I think it's just a force of habit from using adjustables. And to finish off my touch-up work, I'm going to do some down fading, starting with the 1A blade. And I'll follow that down with the 1 blade, always trying to go against the grain to try to get this cut as smooth as possible. Alright, and now we're going to move on to the edge up, but before we do that, we're going to take down the front with the 1A blade with the grain. And if you watch the other video I have where I cut his hair, you'll know that he does not really like edge ups, so I'm going to try to keep this as natural as possible. And after putting down the edge up, I noticed some dark spots in the blend, so I'm going to go back to the OA blade and just smoothen them out. I am going to fast forward through the other side of this blend, but I will be keeping the blades that are being used off to the left so you can follow along. We did follow the same blade skipping technique. The only difference from this side to the other is that I did not use the shaver until the end of the actual blend. I want to take this time to invite y'all to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Make sure that notification bell is on. And if you're digging this video, make sure you hit that like button. And before this video is over, I also want to plug our other channel. Me and Fades by Morales have came together to talk a lot of smack. We have a podcast in a separate channel called Barber Clips. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and go look for Barber Clips Podcast. New episodes every day, Monday to Friday. All right, y'all, it is that time. Let's remember how this man looked like before. And without further ado, here is the after. Y'all let me know how you think I did down in the comment section. I think I rose to the challenge, but that is my perspective. Let me know what you think. Thank you again to Be Choppin, everybody else who's been doing this challenge. I appreciate y'all for checking out my content, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.